considering this, do we need to invite the DAR and the treasure trackers? We can tell them. But
There's ice cream.
yeah, okay, they're going to be there. But the DAR,
I can get a hold of Sarah.
you get a hold of Sarah and tell her to bring her tinsel like we did last year. We'll put that out. We're going to put treasure tracker take one out to her. Okay, so it's going to be more of an information policy.
So with that, we're going ahead and I think everybody will go on this. I think anybody that's, but we're going ahead and have our minutes from the last meeting.
Okay, the last meeting date was August the 8th. Here at FW, there were 16 in attendance. The meeting was called to order at 5:30. The Pledge of Allegiance and prayer. Noah Smothers introduced our new visitor, Melinda Fry. Melinda is with the Lebanon and Laclede Foundation. The minutes of the July meeting were read and approved. Teresa Schubert kept the minutes for the July meeting as I was present. David Schubert spoke a bit about upcoming medical taking the Boy Scouts at the VFW Lodge in September. Raymond and Robin Sandwich presented a flyer they made about the Boy Scout event. Teresa Schubert read the treasurer's report, and the ending balance is currently $1,047.26. The minutes were approved. David and Teresa did a Civil War medical presentation at the old stagecoach stop in Waynesville and received a very generous donation for us of $500. David spoke a bit about the woman who has lined up to take 10 type photos at an upcoming Victoria Falls. Noah spoke with the local trophy shop about getting some plaques made to present to several people who have contributed greatly to recovering and saving the history of Laclede County. A vote was held to purchase the plaques at roughly $25 for 6 plaques and was unanimously approved. David read a letter he composed to the Old Stagecoach Stop Foundation to thank them for their donation. Noah read a list of potential future speakers he has lined up for future meetings. David and Teresa put on a very informative presentation regarding appropriate attire from the Victorian era and had a variety of clothing and accoutrements to show and describe. They also detailed proper etiquette from that time period. This is in preparation for the upcoming ball in December, so everyone can be prepared that wants to wear period style clothing. The presentation was from 6:50 to 7 o'clock. The rest of the evening was spent asking questions and general social conversation. Meeting was adjourned at 7:30.
We have to accept it. President,
And then I'll do the treasurer's report.
got another?
We got a little bit. Okay, so basically not a whole lot's changed from last month. We got Pat and Jean paid $25 for their ball tickets. We had a fee. How it works with the Lebanon Area Foundation is if we go a month and there's no transactions, then we are not charged a fee. We did have money going in and coming out this time, so our admin fee was $9.74. So that puts us this month at $1,047.26. Is our ending balance. And so, I already wrote the check out. We're not. No.
I figured it was gone.
And I have a list of everybody that's paid their membership dues, and Melinda's really good about really specifying, and you all are good, like if you pay your memberships to her, putting it down at the bottom and writing a check out to the Lebanon Area Foundation. But if you have not paid your dues, we really do need your sponsorship and need you to be an official part of the Historical Society. We have a ton of wonderful and they're on Facebook. But we really need the support of everybody to pay your dues. So, and I think we said that dues run from June to June. So, no, January to December. Yeah. So we're not going to mess with like prorating everything. It's,
Part of being a member is also we have to be a member of the club. And then our bylaws said we all know that any money that we expend or expenses have to be over like all the members. So if you're not a member, you don't really have to say if we want to spend $10,000 up there. If you're not a member, you're not going to have to say that. For
$700. Right now, right here.
individuals $20 for the individual senior 15 for a senior couple, which we say 60 people or older is 25. Household and families 35. But they do run from January 1st to December 31st. We just don't want to prorate stuff, so we don't really, if you're going to, with no more than a $20 individual membership, you know, there's not much sense of prorating it because it's going to be that $2 a month, less than $2. But anyhow, we are going to start trying to do something new tonight. David's decided to do a little raffle. We bring in stuff like we do for treasure packers. We actually bring in stuff we don't need at home. And people that's not familiar with their treasure packers, they can be an old box of cereal and you don't like that. Right? Yeah, we don't care. It could be plants. It could be vegetables. It can be
Salsa.
salsa.
Yeah, we've had salsa.
We have a lot of home canned goods that people bring in. So, and all it is just raise a few dollars. So that's what we're going to start doing and talk about.
It's actually great. Oh, it does. And
That's in a year's time.
everybody just bring, if you want to participate, bring something in. You'll be able to get, as you go through, you get your number, you'll be able to pick something out. And there's usually always enough for everybody. This one may be a little short. So buy your teams early tonight when we go to midterm.
And everything that's brought in for that is raffled off that night. There's nothing left. So if we bring in 50 items and we only sell 25 tickets, it's all there available. I mean, there's nothing back. And so, yeah, that's a lot of fun. You never know what somebody's going to bring in. We used to do that in the 417 club over in Springfield, and one guy worked for Ron's sandwich shops. He donated 5 empty 5-gallon pit buckets.
Oh, wow.
And you cannot believe how many it was. But he used to make them every month, and sometimes we have as many as 25-gallon buckets that he would raffle off and make some money on.
No, don't need to approve the minutes in the treasure.
We approved the minutes, we didn't approve the treasure. Now we didn't approve the minutes.
No, there's been no,
This time.
there's been no votes.
Made no notes. Somebody approve the minutes. Second. Pat. And so we need a second. Okay, Raymond. Second. Minutes. What's that? Gonna do that next?
no, it's already been done. We approved it.
Minutes. Now we need to approve the treasurer's report. second the treasurer's report.
Katie, please second. Yep.
Keep it on that.
Just vote aye.
She's coming back. Who's following?
What I looked at though was the fact that we actually only have 15 page members right now. Figure that's not a lot. Our Facebook page, most we're kicking right at 420 people right now. And, I had looked at that and I thought, you know, if you had 400 people, it'd be $3 a month, which is $36 a year. That gives us over $1,200 a month, which would cover utilities, cover insurance if we do come along to the building that we can work with. But $3 doesn't seem like much money when you drive by 7th Road down there and there's 20 cars at night paying $7, $8, $9 for a cup of coffee. You think, hey, how can you do half of that? But we'll work on that end of it. We are due. That's the other thing. We have ran into some people that were in the old historical society, or they really want us to prove ourselves. They're basically saying, you know, I was in there before, and they're really wanting to make sure that we are going to be the same as we are. And so we're facing hurdles. We would get by all of it. We also, this week,
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
I think I'm a week behind. We have contacted the newspaper, the radio stations. We've asked to be back on the radio station talking about our upcoming ice cream social. We're trying to work with the newspaper about doing something for the next year. It's 175th anniversary of Lebanon, Missouri. We're trying to come up with something that we can work together with them. It's really hard to get people together. I don't understand that. We can send out email after email after email. We don't get no reply. We can make phone calls and phone calls and phone calls, and we don't get no call back. But it's something that we're working on. The appreciation plaques are in order. I'll give Morris today, just going on vacation next week. As soon as he gets back, he's going to jump on those and get ready for us. And that's something we want to do to recognize the people that actually have written a lot of prior books that were done by the Historical Society, the Geological Society, and people that do work before us. We want to make sure that we recognize them and they understand that we sure appreciate everything that they have done. I thought you was pointing me, Rick. We also got a lot of stuff that we're talking about trying to do. We went to Springfield last weekend to visit the Roubidoux Grotto show over there. And so we have discussed what we could do here in Lebanon. So we went over and visited with them guys. They told us who we needed to talk to, who to call. And I'm not sure exactly what we will be able to do, but that's something we are looking at. Actually, David's being ex-military, he's in charge of that. Some of the future events and
Appreciate it.
programs that we're looking at is a military vehicle boat show.
Thank you so much.
Car shows, I think there's a first one might be even again this week.
Fuck you.
Yeah. You're
I talked with Jake, that's running VFW here. And one of the things that we talked about was the hangar, the swing dance, World War II swing dance. We thought about doing that here, and then he said no problem at all. But the other thing is, I put on a World War II display, but I know a lot of guys in it's called Dog Patrol, which is World War I, 3/4 scales, softwood camels, red bear, and all that. So the guys up on the 35th Infantry Division reenactors said they were willing to come down here for the day, set up their tents, bring in their jeeps, set up 50 cows, 30 cows.
Wow, that's awesome.
They have a half track. They know of a guy that has a Stewart tank. Teresa and I went up to Mexico, Missouri, and they had great displays. They gave kids rides on jeeps, but they also gave them on the Stewart tank. So in any case, it was a great educational program, which, you know, sometimes our schools have sort of skimmed over what our forefathers have fought to keep America strong. And so one of the things that we thought about was maybe doing that right here. So it would be an open house where people could come in and it would be more of an education. But at the same time, I thought about maybe Bubba and Brian might want to think about, we could even talk about doing a sort of a military collector show where you can buy, sell, or trade right in here at the same time. So you can go out there and talk to those guys, see what you got, but also come in here and buy almost 50 cal machine gun.
Whoa.
We're gonna go up there, it's gonna be a fire
Fire demonstration.
Oh, no.
So in any case, that's another thing that we've been given permission to do. The other thing was we already talked about the hangar, right? The swing dance. I still got to talk to the group down there by the real airport, see if we can find a hangar. There is a I don't know if anybody's interested. There is a swing dance up in there's swing dance clubs in St. Louis that go every week. I was like, wow, okay. But at St. Charles, and I have flyers on that, but there's one on the 21st, which is that swing dance is done at St. Charles. It's right down south of Kansas City. It's New Century, Kansas. I've been to several of them before. That was when the World War II guys were still alive, and we all been there, and we had the Andrews sisters. Not no sisters, but their daughters. They came, they sang, did a great time. Everybody danced. We had a B-24 fly in. Everybody was dressed up, and it was a great time. Except I sort of made a faux pas where the guy that was sitting at our table didn't have any hands. And I was like, sir, did you lose your hands in combat? And he said, no, I lost them on the Indianapolis. Indianapolis was the ship that went down that was taking the bomb over there before it flew over Japan.
Yeah.
And it was on radio silence. A Japanese submarine sunk it, and half of the guys went into the ocean, and the sharks ate probably 42%. And I was automatically said, sir, was it the sharks? And he said, no, it was fire was on the hole on top of the water. And I couldn't get them all the way down because I was half in the ship, half out. And I was like, wow. And I said, I'm really sorry about that. He says, okay, can I dance with your wife? Okay, so they took off and they had a great time. And I said, she came back and said, how do you dance? Oh, it's good. He knows how to dance.
That's so funny.
So between that and then the maybe doing the military collector show, the last thing that I've talked about, I guess maybe citywide, we talked about maybe lost arts in the park or pioneer days. Some people want to every time I bring pioneer days up, they say, "Oh, hillbilly days." I don't want to call it that name. But,
Sure.
We may want to do an educational thing where we bring people back and talk to them about history. And there was 3 thoughts on this, and I listened to some comments from you guys. One was do it in a park. Everybody gets a table, they set up and make a blacksmith, maybe make a gun or a black powder gun, maybe make a basket, make hand-dip candles, dye wool or spin wool. So we thought those would be great ideas, but we didn't want to do it in a park. Some of the vendors downtown talked to us about, why don't you just do it out in front of our building? We'll take care of the person that's doing the spinning or doing the candles in the basket. We'll feed them. We'll do what we'll make sure they got water, whatever. But they'll do it in front of us. We said, okay, that's a second idea. And the third idea was to bring them out here and just do it in an area not in the park, but something out here that we can control a little bit more. With that, I sort of want to leave that open to discussion. Has anybody got any ideas about those 3 ideas? About doing arts in the park, Pioneer Days?
The Lebanon Art Guild has started up the Art in the Farm, and they do their event out at the alpaca farm. And it's, of course, there's a lot of handmade weaving and things that go on there anyway. And I'm sure a lot of the artists are making pottery, baskets, and so some of that's already ingrained. And so it might be something we could add to for more historical value.
Can you give me a name?
Yes, Joy Thompson is the president.
Okay. I talked with the Kickapoo Trace guys. I don't know if anybody knows about them. They're the flintlock guys.
Wow.
They're more 1805, 1814. And I also talked with a group from Oklahoma, and they said, we got everything that you want, and we're willing to come up there and do it. But if we've got something here, I'd like to talk to their representatives.
Yeah. Their meetings are the same day as ours, believe it or not.
Same day as this.
Uh-huh.
No, really?
Same time.
Same time.
I'll have to talk to her on the phone.
Yeah, I know it.
So those are between the Hanger Dance and then the historical guys we've been talking to. I think we've got a lot of things on the hook for everything from interactive or living history. I know this seems like we're going in the direction of education, but right now, as Gina has told you before, we don't own the building, we can't accept anything. So what we can do is raise money, but we also can educate. And next time, Julie, I'm going to bring out here. You can show us how to break things. All right? We did canning one time. We did it in our Citizens on Patrol or our community watch program. We had people out there teaching us how to can. That was thrilling.
That arts in the park you talked about, is that now? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Is that
It's at the alpaca farm, which is,
Liz Mexico?
thank you, I appreciate it. I don't know exactly where, but it's out east.
Strawberry. 32.
32 south of me.
East.
You brought up something just interesting. On that farm is an old dump truck. Yeah, that locomotive is in bad shape because nobody took care of it. But it was offered to Johnny Morris for the best truck. And Johnny says,
Oh, saw something there.
Oh, wait.
That's a friend.
Come on in.
but it's offered to Johnny Morris, and Johnny says, if you guys will, this is simple, Dad, bring it to me, I'll take it. Now, the lady running the farm says, they don't have it, we're not doing that, but then we go back to our history that's being lost in Laclede County. That old log cabin had to be built in the early 1800s and the 1850s, 60s. But over time, it's deteriorated to there's hardly anything left. I don't know if there's anything left right now, but that's the whole purpose of us. We're here to just for Laclede County, not for just Lebanon, but for Laclede County. My neighbor stopped this week. some of you might know John Stowe, but John came over and spoke for about an hour. He was telling me down there on South Hive, not too long ago, there was a cabin down there. But a lot of people didn't know it was a cabin because it'd been covered with weatherboard over the years. And I don't know exactly how long ago this was, but he said he went by there one day and had an excavator sitting out front with 2 dump trucks. And he stopped. They asked the guy that owned it what's going on. He said, I don't want this thing anymore. I'm going to get rid of it. And sad to say, that's what he done. They tore it down and put it in a dump truck and they hauled it off the dump. That's happening all over our county. We even see it in town all the time. There's places that are just being razed to the ground. And especially with the city condemning some of these properties that really need to be fixed up and taken care of, they're just being scraped off and they're gone. So our purpose is to try to save some of this history where people after us, after our generation, is going to be able to come back and look at it and see it. And so that's what we're working towards.
Isn't it Lynn Creek or somebody that has a log cabin, they do their historical society, does a outside market or something up there by Lynn Creek? Is it Lynn Creek?
No, but that brings back another thing. Kansas County Museums has an original plat map of Laclede County that they think is older than 1912. I say that because I have never found a plat map older than 1912. But I'm supposed to go up and meet with their president because they say it belongs to you guys. It's not ours.
1912 or 1812?
1912.
Because
And I'm going to go get it, and we're going to talk to the president. They said she wouldn't be in until Thursday, but if it's older than the 1912 one, I sure would like to see it, because I've never seen one any older than that. I mean, I've looked and looked and looked, but I just don't know if any exists.
Yes, you can find out.
But again, here we got another county who wants to help us. And that's amazing. We got Pulaski County, we got Camden County. We got people that's really wanting to help. So
I had a guy a week or so ago telling me they had that down there. He used to be involved with it. But he's not anymore. He moved away. And he wants to do it here. He works nights, so this is one of the nights he works. So.
it's interesting tonight. I had a lady, can't remember her name, her last name's Cat. I think she's Mr. Cat's wife.
mm-hmm.
She wanted to come to our meeting tonight, but Oaktown Brewery is also having a kind of a, I guess it's not their
Free beer night? Is it free beer night?
We're missing it?
But she happened to mention tonight, Oaktown Brewery is having a trivia night for Lebanon and Laclede.
Oh, wow.
And she said, there's going to be a lot of guys and there are people in there that would be are interested in what you're doing. And she said, I'm going to tell them about you guys. I'm going to
Good.
find out. And I thought, well, that kind of sounds neat too, a tribute to it.
That would be interesting.
So do some more events. Some of them they would read these off. Whatever.
Talked about the military club, we didn't talk about the historical costume party. I thought about that a long time ago. We thought we'd do it for Halloween. That might be next Halloween. We did talk about all starts in the park or maybe interaction with the public here on all starts or prairie days or pioneer days. We did talk about the antique auction, but we incorporated that with the Victorian Ball. It's most of the things that we're going to have at the Victorian Ball will be over here along the wall here on the other side. And Yes, we're gonna have a few baskets for those people that don't like history, but they're like drugged into the mall. So we'll have baskets that they have, you know, I know, what's the bandanas who's got all their barbecue in one. I know the flower shop's gonna have some stuff there. A couple other people, what's that? Coffee shop, yeah, they would have the stick, so you can put your name on the solid auction list and you can do that. The big thing we talked about next month, on the 30th, we're going to do the ice cream social behind the record. And we'll probably walk down the street and pass out flyers about joining the Historical Society and also the dance. Teresa says she's going to do a basket making class, but she said it'd be next year. Okay. Black Powder Shoot. Raymond, that's your next project. You know you've got Boy Scouts this year. Next year, we're going to do familiarization fire starting with flintlocks, and we'll go up through at least percussion. And we need to talk about what we're going to do that. We're going to do that. We may even shoot the mortar, or we'll shoot the small golf ball cannon. But that's it. Spinning and weaving. That's something that we talked about before, but you know more of the spinners, don't you?
I don't know. Betsy would know more of those people than I would, but I know we have a weaver skill for a
Is there a
spinner
weaver
skill.
skill?
There is, yeah. Lindsay, I'm not sure.
Skills there. We need to
And
go.
they bring the combs and they bring, you know, for the wolves and the alpaca, and they work on it. And you can't just start spinning.
No, we know that. Yeah.
They should.
I thought she went in classes twice before she ever even bought. But if we could get her name, we'd like her to do maybe a demonstration or do a class here. So if you can pass that on to us. Blacksmith. Anybody know a blacksmith that knows that? I know a blacksmith that knows how to make knives. But I'm talking about everything from, you know, hooks and repairing horseshoes. Anybody know a blacksmith? That's what I'm. And the only other one is, as you saw, that Teresa and I did with the old stagecoach stop. They are very interested in working with us. I've invited them to come to a meeting. They wanted to have, we sent them, let's see, we sent them that thank you letter yet, that we're going to do that. We signed it this week. Yeah. Did you do that, Debbie? Did you approve that letter that I made?
I did.
So we're going to bring that up
That
at
was
treasure track.
yeah, that's-
We'll send them. I've had word from them. They would like to do something with us from Pulaski County. Maybe we'll go down there and help them. They do their big event in August. It's too hot. But maybe we'll get them here where it's cooler time. So they want to do something with us. So that's the last thing. Fly tying demo.
Yeah, just wrote that down because of the fact that Bennett Springs is out there, we had a rating. And it is in our county, or it's right down the Laclede County border. It brings in, I figured that on the average about 100,000 visitors a year. And on a good year, they bring in up to 300,000. So, I mean, but a good solid average is for the months of the summer is 100,000 people coming to Bennett Springs. So we'll see if we can find somebody out there that might give us some part-time lessons and demonstrate and do some things like that because we want to involve those people too. So we are kicking out all kinds of ideas.
With that Parks in the Park, the library has a group that needs wood carvers. Would that fit in with?
Sure.
With that, absolutely. I don't know who they are. I just know there is a group that need in the library.
And I talked with a guy over at the barrel making factory, and I said, we'd like to see Cooper out here. Show us how to make barrels. Barrels is an art of its own.
Sure.
And most people don't know how hard it is to make a bucket
Mm-hmm.
or a barrel. So that was the other one that was talking about. So those names, pass that to me. I've got a little package.
Like I said,
somebody in Benson.
That's in your group. I mean, people did knitting and crochet and your group. People from your group.
Yeah. You're crazy. Like the street. Something I've not heard anyone mention. Out toward Bennett Springs, on the left, there's an old log cabin.
Sure.
Yes. It's a 2-story.
Yes, that was on the old water building in Phillipsburg, and the guy took it down and numbered it and built it back. I think it was a church at the last time.
It was first an antique store, then it was a church.
Was it? And
Yeah.
that's something, did a field trip into that, some of the history on it. Does
That's
it?
what Kathleen was shaking her head at.
Oh, okay. But that might show a little bit on how the building.
I sent him a letter asking him about that, and also about taking the tour of his home on Madison Street.
Mm-hmm.
Is that his home there was built by an old lumber baron, and you can imagine when the home was built, there was no other homes around it. It was all woods or whatever, but I guess he's a very private man. I don't know that. By somebody that knows him real well. And I asked him about, do you think he would have to take a tour of his house? And she said, I don't think that would ever happen. So, and I think he's probably in his late 70s. I'm not sure. But,
I've never met him.
yeah.
I just have always heard about this small.
He lives in Springfield. He don't even live here. So, but,
He's got a,
Yeah.
my yard's behind the house is a carriage house.
yeah.
Mm.
Years ago.
But you're right. I mean, that would be an excellent. That was the last remaining stagecoach stop out on Route 66.
They bumped the whole water road down. I think it might be the other side.
There's a guy down in Licking that will take log cabins down and bring them back. In fact, I wanted a stable on my place and I gave him $1,000 and to do it. And then I moved from the place I farm I was at to the place I'm at now. And but there is a guy that's his job. He takes them down, puts them back, and if it's already numbered, that's easy. That's a lot easier. And log cabins come in all kinds of different ways. I did a study on log cabins that are parallel and there's vertical log cabins. And I didn't know that until I went to St. Charles and I watched them. Whoever did saw it in St. Genevieve. And I never saw logs that would look like that and then build a house. And I was like, that's pretty neat. And then we saw when we were out west, we were at Brittany Lappin's kid. They did log cabins out in the west at Fort Robinson, totally different from what I've ever seen before. So, the Germans did it one way, then other cultures did it another way. So, saving the log cabin is really interesting because they're so varied in their townships.
Pat and I have some friends who live in Stillville, Missouri. That's what they do for a living. They go around and they go to other homes, they take them down, they dismantle them, they put them back up, or they rebuild them on site. Just depending on what they're actually working on the big old two-story road going out of the park in Missouri right now. So, and they're just about completed with it. It's amazing how they can take something that's a couple hundred years old and make it do it again. I got a couple of announcements we've been going through, and this is just ideas that we're kicking around. Mr. Bob Scobie is with us tonight. Bob is now the president of the board at the library, and he's got a new manager of the library's historical collections and around 66 museum, which is Kathleen Leafer, and she said right now, Bob, and maybe you two could kind of talk about what your ideas are about what's going on in the library with the historical items and how you think that they might be addressed. Or...
You want to?
Sure.
Sure. That one didn't sound very common.
Yeah, we can pick on the person that's under you, if the head has to go. You know whose head it's going to be, right? working on cataloging. That's the number one thing to get done right now. Studying a lot, trying to get out and talk to different organizations in the community. Get opinions from folks, trying to get people working together, not so far apart locally. Let's see. Having people come, take a look at the museum that is there right now, the Route 66 Museum. Try to get up a form so folks could submit, actually probably just submit the form to the library for commentary. Like, you know, if there's things you think might be changed or something you might be interested in seeing. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to put it in your report.
Gene, we're in the same boat you guys are. We're gonna have to call for a walk. Yeah, we started last week. This is a start for us. And we've got some ideas around. Right now, that's all they're ideas. They are their ideas. So the idea is to make it more accessible. Seems being organized so we know what we've got. When the old historical society told it, they basically just did it all. Here it is. Now belongs to the library. We got stashed in some corners of it. So, we're looking at just arrange it, store it. Yeah, work it out. It may take a little while.
I will tell you this, some really interesting collections have been acquired over the last year or two. All of the cemetery records have been digitized, so that's good. At least the Lebanon cemetery, let me be specific about that. The records that, not all of them, but some of the records that were available down in Bennett Springs are now digitized. And there might be some more that I'm just not aware of yet. So that's kind of cool.
And all the cemeteries that I've mentioned, we did a lot of work on the cemetery. Is all that digitized that you guys have done? No, I think so.
But there are a lot of records. I'm not aware of too many gaps on Find so that, that's a pretty good source as well. So it makes it hard for the publications to compete with.
You just can't afford to publish a book.
Right. Find it. If it's, somebody can go online and type it in and they get an answer. So history, how we present it is getting readapted. If an individual can go and get something digital and they don't have to leave the comfort of their own living room and the popcorn, they're going to go and get it that way. So it makes it hard to sell a publication for sure. We talked about research. There are some. We're going to have. We do have quite a volume of people coming in and asking research questions, and I suppose if you all have someone that can answer those, if it's something that we can't come up with, or you have more time, or you even have someone who's willing to be hired for extensive research, that information would be valuable. And just a little background, since I've met a few people in the room. I have an associate's in paralegal, and I have a bachelor's in history, and I was working on my master's degree in history at Missouri State University. And my emphasis was in American Studies, which was Civil War and Ozark Studies. And I studied under Dr. Piston and Dr. Blevins. I didn't get to complete my studies. I became ill in 2017, and so I left my program. But I've been hanging out in Laclede County history since about 1981 when I was young. I love history. I've been in the military 5 years. Everywhere I went in the military, I looked for more history. I was on the East Coast. I was in the archives in Virginia. I help a lot of local people out, like Mr. Adams, and we help each other out, doing different programs and stuff. Very much interested in presenting the history of Lebanon and Laclede County to the community. We 2 anniversaries. It would be the history of Lebanon and both at the same time. Route 66, sorry. Bennett Springs, Route 66 has an anniversary. Bennett Springs has an anniversary. And in a couple of years, the United States will have an anniversary. So there's a lot of history, a lot of opportunities, especially to present to young people who maybe, I don't know about you, but when I was in the classroom, history wasn't necessarily my favorite thing. I had to get out and experience history. It had to become personal to me. And so, that's probably your education direction right now. That's a wonderful direction to go in my opinion. But anyway.
Thanks a lot. See, as we get further down the road, figure out what to do it. We'll let you guys know. You guys help us where we need. We had a person contact us. Actually, works there. We give guys reference. More discount is, and some people do free for us, or working in hours, or it's time. It's something we can ask you and see, because you're right. I mean, eventually, all these paper records are going to go away. I mean, they're not going to be here anymore. But it's coming fast. Probably with artificial intelligence, it's coming fast. But we had one more appointment this week, and that's Mr. Michael Holmes got here tonight. For those that don't know, maybe, but Michael has been appointed to the Lebanon Planning and Zoning Committee.
I need a bigger driveway.
Bigger driveway.
No, I'm the new guy.
That's the new guy.
Which brings up the question, is there anybody here that has ties to the county alder line?
Alder.
their life. Always been. For the family.
Other than, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Julie's old.
So we have 5 people that probably go back to the original planners, maybe, all the way back. No, Bob said you're related to 16 years. Okay, River County Ice Cream Social, September 30th. I had contacted First State Bank too, to ask them about the parking lot, they couldn't figure to get back with me. So we're looking at just in that general area, right there on that main, that commercial with Jefferson Street intersection, right there in the middle of the historical park. Back when there was a livery stable for Clark Brothers, was. I've got an old map that about 1883, it actually shows the building was in names when they were. That's even the toy store down on that street in 1883. Wish they had some of them on the toys. But I'm going to introduce Dan. Dan is our speaker for tonight. He has been out riding all over this county this week, helping his wife taking pictures of different locations and things. So he spent quite a bit of time researching, so we're going to let him talk about it.
You want to introduce yourself? Because we'll make up stuff.
I'm a geologist. Graduated from SMS, and then I went back and got some teaching credentials. I taught at Waynesville for quite a few years. I've only been in the county 5 years, so I'm kind of a new guy. So one of the things I do to help me understand or figure out how the county works is look up from the book called the Geologic Wonders and Curiosities. I can see what some of the interesting features are. So let's hit it, Eric.
Okay, you're gonna hit that button. If you want to have a seat there, or you can pull that, and you can. That's it right there. Shoot.
Yeah, so I'm using the book as the foreground for things. It was written by Beveridge, who was a state geologist, and a guy named Jerry Vineyard, who's passed now. He's a good friend of mine. And it comes from the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. The information. Got a couple of the books up here if anyone's interested. We had one show up over at the book situation, but I think somebody got that, didn't they, Jeannie?
It belongs to the Historical Society now.
So I've got a couple of them. There's a couple different versions here. And I got it now, but there's a 1980 copyright and a 1990 copyright. They both have interesting pictures on. I'm still looking for my photograph. Bobby took of me. I can use it under this big emerald thing down at
Why they didn't put it up there?
the Current River. Yeah. We'll find that one of these days. Okay. Here's the copies of the book in case you've seen one around or, I don't know, there may be one in the library. I don't want to say anything negative. We're full of karst topography here in this county. And that's where you have sinkholes and those kinds of things. And most of you are pretty familiar with that. But arches, bridges, natural bridges, tunnels, springs, lost rivers, they're all part of that kind of situation. So that's going to be, I knew before I got here that that was going to be pretty much what the book was going to show us. But it's all because of our limestone dolomite feature that erodes, carbon dioxide gets mixed up with the water and so forth, and builds a hydrogen chloride that will take out the limestone and so forth. You can show that pretty easily in class sometimes. Take a drop of hydrochloric acid and put it on limestone and it just bubbles up, it bubbles away. So it's a pretty interesting process. The name came from Yugoslavia, where the Karst comes in. I won't go over that wording there, I think, but that's a little bit about it. This is a picture I got in this book that shows on one of the front pages about a nice sinkhole. Where is it from? Lebanon, Laclede County. And this shows the guy down at the bottom of it. It says that a rapidly developing sinkhole south of Lebanon had been a farm pond. The pond bottom fell out and it went down 50 feet.
Wow.
So we've got lots of those kinds of possibilities around in the county. That's interesting. Now, somebody might here might know where this pond was. This is an old picture, but still. But yeah, they didn't want you to see it because they're probably trying to sell the farm.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm just kidding, but yeah. Okay, the first one I started out was one that's new to the 1980 book. It was in the 1990 book. It's called Indian Leaf Bluff. It's way up, and I wanted to talk to Don Brand about it because he gave a talk here about the mountains and so forth. But there's two curves of the Niagara that come into Laclede County. The first one has the cross green access. That's where Don Brand was. And then there's one north of that that comes over. Indian Leaf Bluff is up in that second curve. So Don knew about his curve, but he didn't know any further, so I didn't get any straight information. But it says it's lots of Lover's Leaf, Indian Leaf Bluff, just another variation. This bluff comes with lots of variations and so forth. Here's a picture, my picture I tried to take of it. I went down these people's property. Now I could have gotten close, but I didn't want to get, there was too many no trespassing signs between me and right to the edge of the river where I could look up. However, I don't know if you can see in that square right there is an American flag hanging Indian bluff. So I thought I must be pretty close anyway. It's just one of the bluffs along the river, and has a little bit of a narrative with it. Yeah, here's those curves in the river. Here's cross-stream access, goes off, and then here's the Indian Leaf Bluff. So really, Don Brand was pretty close. Don owns the property where the Indian Grave Point is located, on the one down below that. So I simply told a little bit about it. Evidently, what they did was they took one of the chiefs back then and buried him up at the top, put him out at the top of that bluff. So, second one I picked up on was the Arch Eddy Natural Arch. It's Arch Eddy because it got named after the arch, the stretch of water, but it's off just downriver from Indian. Let's see, about 32. There was a camping area down there right under the bridge. It's not been enacting yet. The last couple years, I think. It looks like the guy who owned it may have passed or moved or traded jobs or something. It only had a few no trespassing signs, so I skimmed my canoe across and got into the river, and I went downstream. The guy who used to run it was Dr. Dale Ravens. I don't know, maybe some of you guys know him.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever seen Arch Eddy, but guess what? You almost have to be in the river to see it. So that worked fine that I was canoeing down to check on it. Let's see, I'll show you a picture of it.
Oh, wow.
Now, first I was in a bluff that on a little creek that comes in. And I did see these little holes that go all the way through, and I thought, no, it's probably got to be bigger than that. This thing here is about 50 feet or so high, and I don't know if you can see really easily, but this hole right here is where the sunlight's coming through, and it's really a pretty significant arch. So I was thrilled that I found that one pretty easily. This one I was familiar with because I was working at Bennett Springs for a couple of years as a ranger. Bennett Springs Natural Tunnel. I offered a hike just about every week to go out to it. But the total hike down and back is 7.5 miles. I didn't have a lot of takers on that. It takes about 4 or 5 hours to make the trip. But the tunnel itself is pretty significant. See all the way through it. It's about 100 yards long, though. It's a pretty interesting thing. Several of you have been there before?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So, I'm just talking about how it went. There was a little creek that was coming down. It used to go around the hill. Now it cuts straight through the middle of the hill, which makes it a piracy of stream kind of a situation as well. So it's pretty interesting, and I take 1 or 2 people down almost every week to see it. But it was a pretty long hike. So. Here I show where you can get to it. Actually, it's kind of unusual, the direction. Bennett Springs is right there. The trail starts hiking here and goes way down to the natural tunnel down this way. So some of you have been on, you know how that works. Anytime you have a question or an idea here, holler at me because I'll stop and I'm interested to find out more about any of these places. This shows how the tunnel works, where the water cuts through. Stream used to go here and around. Now it cuts through the tunnel, right through the rock. 100 yards tunnel is pretty significant. It's kind of a neat thing. I wish it was a little closer to the road or something so we could get more people out there. Here I took several pictures of it. Bobby's my poser all the time. That's her standing at the entrance from the path into it. The water's actually coming out here though. And I took one from the inside, one from the outside, and then one from the inside on the right. Here's the other end. This is the picture that was in the Curiosities book. Jerry Vineyard took this one, showed some people at the other side. They did something crazy and tried to build a dam across it right there, and I don't know, a bunch of concrete. Because it did pretty hard to do. I wasn't sure what they were really trying to prove with that, so I'm going to leave that out before I call somebody dumb. Here's my wife in that back picture. You can see her on the right there. And then there's a picture looking out of the tunnel. So it's kind of a neat thing because people are getting scared of caves when they're in total darkness. Everything. That's always you can see one end and the other. So it works pretty good. This one is the Decaturville Natural Arch. I was capitalizing on this site. It's not very photogenic, and I thought I might not need to go to that one. But I had a couple extra hours the other day, so I took off for it. What it gives on top here is the legal description. If you want to know how to get to it, you can find all of those right in the book. I copied those right out of the book. So, but the arch is somewhat misleading. I don't know. It's a pretty good arch. Let's take a look at it.
That's cool.
This picture here is probably the best. You can see the sunlight coming through. This rock is part of it. You can see it better over on the first picture. But what they think happened was that the church farmed around a piece of dolomite. And then that dolomite's going to erode. And so it left a real rounded curvature to it that they think is different. That's way up there by, well, you're a couple miles inside of Laclede County, but you're starting to get Decaturville's debatable which county it's in, I think. So you've been out to that one?
Yeah. You said there's a mill down here that's in the guy's field. You say there's some squares.
There's a square mill in the middle.
Well, I'm always,
30 feet wide, 30 feet long.
I think it's always a good idea to make some additions. I've got some ideas here I'll show you in, but you know, if there's some weird things like that that you know of that aren't in this book, we'll put it together and I'll go talk to I still know a few old-timer geologists there, so, and follow up. Anyway, that one worked pretty good. Now, because I'm up in Decaturville, I started to throw this one in. This is my own take on things. I call it an astroblem. Geologists I was with, that's what they call it. But it's a big meteorite crater.
That's cool.
A meteorite hit right there. Let's see. Age of the structure is what they're interested in. I can tell you Pennsylvania, but that doesn't mean much to you guys. Geologic language. The site in the ground is privately owned, and the guy found that the heat produced by the impact and so forth actually did mineralize some of the irons and maybe leads. And so he was digging it all up back in the early 1800s, what I say there. Yeah, something like that. And so he's kind of got it sealed off. He didn't want too many visitors to the place. Anybody been there? Know about that? Collected any minerals from that area?
I know when I was there was a little shed single there, that was full of just racks full of core samples where they had drilled.
Yeah, core samples. Yeah, they took a long time to figure out that this was a meteor crater.
Mm-hmm.
Geologists, they didn't think that's astronomy. They didn't want to talk about that, so kind of interesting. You got a question here in the back?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
On the side of the road.
Right.
That's neat.
Just a second. I'm trying to show you where they think the impact was. Here's Highway 5.
Okay.
Comes down. So you can see approximately where we are. And here I just tell about some of what geologists said about it. Reporting that mineable lead, and zinc deposits were there. Not very mineable. There's not going to be that much. But, here's a picture I took at the highway.
That's neat.
It's probably what you're talking about.
I think that's
the
it.
Rocks are kind of twisted and so forth. Yes.
Interesting.
They just think that's from where it came in.
I've
So it was a pretty big meteor.
several times I've seen the University of Wyota man sitting there and they're sitting there picking.
That's a pretty famous place. I was out with the Association of Missouri Geologists a couple of years ago. Guess where one of the places we went.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're just trying to check the formation so they can see, exactly which way they got twisted and turned. Here's two that are kind of small, and I'm not sure. I floated down on the Niagara River to the next takeout down there for Bennett Springs, and this is just a fast water chute. They talked about it's S-shaped and so forth, but I didn't think it was extraordinarily fast. I kind of stayed in my canoe and did okay, so I wasn't too concerned about how. But anyway, it is mentioned, and it's called the Devil's Chute. But the devil gets a lot of credit in all of these rock things. The next one is the Devil's Hole. It's a sinkhole cave in Laclede County, but they say if you want to find out where it's at, you got to talk to somebody about the Missouri Geologic Survey files. So I didn't go there. We've got enough sinkholes all over the place. I didn't think another sinkhole cave was too significant. The Devil's Cable Natural Arches. These are one of my favorite ones. They're on the way to Anna Adams canoe access there at Dawn Road. But I give the directions to it and so forth. I wrote it up I was the editor for the book in 2015 for the Speleodogical meeting in Waynesville. And they had a pretty good guy editor for a while, but he decided he wanted to crawl in and check out the 29.5 cave down in Prairie County. Crawl into or go 29.5 miles underground, you've got to have some stations of food and places to stay.
Man, that's amazing.
To line it up. But he took all the mark cables with him, and so he left guys like me to edit the whole book on for the meeting at the Geological Survey. But anyway, he did supposedly get another half mile added on to Crevice Cave. So I don't know. Our cave got a little longer, but that's the longest cave in Missouri.
Wow.
And I don't think I mentioned that in here too much. I would show you the Devil's Tea Table.
There you go.
These ones are super. I got my grandkids in this one to pose a little bit. This is one of them. I got 3 out of 4. I put it in around this picture so you can see the Gasconade River there beside it. It's a little different than I would have suspected. It goes perpendicular to the cliff. That's kind of unusual. But there's one more table to add to it. Didn't have a good picture of that one, so I got Bobby to take me pictures of both of them. This is the big one you saw with the kids in it, and this is a smaller one. And they're a little bit of an angle. It's hard to get them both in the same picture. But I did find one way to do it. Go to the other side of the cliff. So this is one that shows them both there.
It's really neat.
So that worked pretty good. I think I used that one in my look to the cave spelunkers dimension. But I don't know, just driving around, you can see these, some partially from the road, Dawn Road, before you get down to Anna Adams there. And K Highway to Dawn Road. And but they're really pretty neat. But this time of year, very difficult to see with all the trees and so forth. That's a better picture because it was taken in the fall. Okay, the next one. I'm really curious about this one. I couldn't find out anything about it. The Radcliffe Cave Sunken Garden. It's at Phillipsburg, basically. It's a system, a cave system that has collapsed, producing an underground lake, natural tunnel bridges. Got all kinds of things in there. But the picture I pulled up next from the book shows how the house was here. Here's the cellar. Here's the downstairs fruit cellar.
Wow.
Before you get to the sunken lake. And then it continues even after that. So some guys at Phillipsburg Christian Church wrote a little bit about it. One guy used to live next to it.
Wow.
Or he thinks he did, because he said we weren't allowed, we made sure the fence was in good shape on that side. We didn't want our cattle to cross because the folks had dogs and weren't always the most pleasant situation to find it to, you wouldn't just go up and ask them, hey, can I go down and see your sunken garden? Or at least that was his perspective. Don't know anybody for sure that's been in it, except for Jerry Vineyard and a couple of these guys look across the lake in there. Looks like an outstanding place. Might be something that could become a place to visit if they would fix it up right, to get in there and hike around. But that hasn't happened too much. And since I was talking to, I think, the next door neighbor to the people that own it, I thought I better quit there because I didn't sound like too good of fun to get there. You know anything about that one? No. Well, that one's down in Phillipsburg, so at the other end of the county. This one I did not go to. It's another natural tunnel. It's supposed to be 100 yards long and very similar to the one at Bennett Springs, but it's up on the side, on the road side of the hill. And then it does say the tunnel's about, I'll tell you where it went. Let's see, it says 100 yards, it penetrates one loop. Then it says it was pretty tough because you got to crawl the last few little ways to get there. First of all, I had to figure out whose property all of that was running through, and then go ask permission. And I can't crawl that good anymore, so I don't know. I didn't get into that one too much.
You need a big flashlight.
Yeah, you have to have one to get to go there. Okay, I own a piece of property. I have to go through Plateau to get there. It's in Texas County. I don't want to get too far away, but I looked at it on, and I'm only a mile and a quarter out of Laclede County. Just a little bit, the Roubidoux Creek, I guess I should say, was another place where I used to really like to fish all the time. So I wanted to tell you about that situation. It's a slice arch where the erosion occurred somewhere on the cliff here and just left it with a piece of the cave left going through it as an arch. And the rest of the cave might be over here, may not go back very far and so forth. I saw sunlight through it. See that little flicker of sunlight?
That is so cool.
I knew I had an arch, but I needed some guys to help me explore it. I decided that it was better to do without all my fishing equipment. So I got some partners to do that. But, you know, I got my daughter and one of her friends to come with me, and I stopped at Highway 17 and paddled up creek in the Roubidoux till I got down to it. These are the arches I found. A is the one I saw sunlight through. I'll show you in a minute. B, how it occurs. It's a real small little hole over here. A lot of dirt in the way. D is over here, but it's really small. And C was the biggest one of all. It went up about 7 feet of an arch, and you can go up in it a couple feet wide. So I had two I thought I could get through. So I sent my team. This is my daughter Les. There's the one that sunlight came through, and she fell through. I stood at the top, and got her coming out. That worked pretty good. Here's B. You might be able to see why I didn't want to crawl down too much.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
My daughter either.
No doubt.
E's real big. You can see the hand, her hand in it.
Wow.
So just it's a completely through though, so it really is an arch. And here's C.
Pretty good side.
Girls crawling, going up through it this way, and then I went up to the top, and then you're sitting down at the bottom. I got the picture on the other side.
Very nice.
I've introduced us to the Geological Survey a number of times, but nobody's writing a new book on curiosities, so or wonders or whatever. So it hasn't occurred anywhere there. But I did give a talk about it at this Speleodogical meeting over here. We had in 2000. So it's fairly significant, and I think it'll still be there. I always catch a couple fish right by it, so it's one of my favorite places. Everybody was asking me, well, how many sinkholes are there in Laclede County?
Oh my.
Well, I'll tell you, it's mapped. Missouri 16,000 is the total they had in 2018. But the thing is that sinkhole areas seem to be clustered around small so forth. Well, the reason for that is those small towns are building, and some guy wants to take this lot and build something.
Oh man.
And he finds a, then the geologists say, oh, here's a new sinkhole, and so forth. Because those towns like Lebanon are still moving around and doing things, and there's a lot of farm fields out there that have minor sinkholes as well. So I think he can take us up around 25,000 pretty easily. But anyway, this shows our Lebanon area has a pretty good plot of them from this old 2018 sinkhole. It's been used for a dump for 60 years. I thought I'd tell you a little. Water from Goodwin Sink goes about 10, maybe a little more than that, 11 miles up and comes out in Ha Ha Tonka Spring.
Oh wow.
So the problem with that is if they've been using it for a dump for 60 years, what kind of water are they getting up there?
Yeah, good point.
The guys did a pretty good job with it, the Speleo folks, and I really had never been in on the work that went in down there. But they've trying to dig out really what used to be a cave, an underground cave situation. And the water currently is all been pushed so that it goes into that sinkhole. And one of the things that the boys were trying to do, the spelunkers were trying to get the water pushed out so it wouldn't always carry things in there. But historically, this one kind of ranks because it says just before the American Civil War, militant guerrilla bands afflicted with a free state cause known as Jayhawkers often clashed with pro-slavery groups in Missouri known as the Border Ruffians. A Goodwin neighbor told stories of the late 1950s, in the late 1950s and 60s about her grandfather who drive a team and a wagon load into the cave to hide their slaves from the Jayhawkers. Now, we've got some people who I know that are on the Laclede County board. One of them lives up there, and it's part of his family. But I don't know. That's old news, and so I don't think you bring it up as a condition or a problem or anything. But to me, the point was, if there were wagon loads of people going in and out of that cave, it has to be fairly significant. And these guys keep pulling stuff out of it.
Wow.
Well, this shows where it is. It's up off of Lancaster Road, if any of you are familiar with that. And they actually gave this much property, that little corner there that's in the woods, to those guys. The Goodwin Sinkhole Restoration Project Manager, Clyde Leidenfrost, I kind of know him, but this area. Do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm helping quite a bit on that, supplying hose and stuff, wash the dirt and stuff out.
Well, I tell here about the big break-in that they had. They lost all their equipment
Yeah.
last winter. And I can't believe how that could, people are trying to clean things up, take care of things, and here he said we discovered someone broken into the property, you could tell because the Bennett crossbars in the gate, somebody used to pick up and push the gate down. A 4,000 watt Coleman generator was gone, 21 self-propelled mower, leaf blowers. They had all kinds of things, safety equipment, gloves, helmets, headlamps, and other tools. And then they always cooked for all the volunteers who showed up. So they had Dutch ovens and stuff like that that were stolen. And it just really, I haven't seen any work. It didn't look like any work had been done there in a long time. So I think that the difficulties had messed them up pretty bad. Here the doe shows them cleaning up. This is what it's looked like when they started. This is all going down and then hitting the bluff where the cave goes in. Here's guys who are getting tires out. That's quite a few tires right there. And they just set up a chain that passed things up. They had a couple rains, and boy, the rain just washes things in. This picture here I like pretty well because it shows the old cave roof right here and all the tires and stuff.
Yeah, it is. That's where it's at.
How far they had it
This is
dug
the
out
Google
at
map.
One point, I think
can
it
see
really they got
right
it
off
back
of
a little
Lancaster.
further than that, but
Well,
had some rains
yeah, me
since
too.
then. They
I'd like to
finally
see.
got enough money together and got some equipment in to do some work. Another picture of the cave open and closed. Here's the pictures I took. There's the gate they tore down. But it's all grown up and you just really can't see what's happening. This is not the cave area, but this is one of the turns where it heads for the cave. That's the only place I could see that probably a sinkhole area in itself. Don't know, I thought I'd try orient you with things. Here's the Indian Leap Bluff way up here in the northeast, northwest, I should say. Then Bennett Springs, so that's the tunnel. Let's see, number 3. Oh yeah, to get to the tunnel, you gotta go down this way. Number 6 is Devil's Chute on the river. 4 and 5, the Decaturville Natural Arch sits on that side of Highway 5. Maybe a little higher up than that, I think. But my square kept jumping around. The Decaturville Astroplum or the meteor craters right in that area. Devil's Chute was on the Bennett. Devil's Table. That was really neat. If you haven't seen that one before, that one's pretty significant. That's my favorite one. And then here's down at Phillipsburg. I'll talk to somebody about that one of these days. The Radcliffe Cave Sunken Gardens. And that other natural tunnel, we think it's up right there, closer to the road actually. But now, this was my ability to put my map together and show Texas County worked pretty good. There I put my Roubidoux quad arches, or 4 arches, and then I put Goodwin Sink up there, up Lancaster. So I got a pretty good look at things, but I'm just spacing them out for you so you can see where they were.
Very cool.
We've got so much around us, Karst topography especially. I just had a collection of pictures from other places. This is Clifty Hollow Natural Bridge over at Dixon. It's a private, publicly owned property now, so if you want to hike there. There's Tonka Natural Bridge over in Camden. I had to throw this one in. This is the Waynesville rock slide. That picture was taken a little bit after the rock slide, but you don't see stuff like that around too much. Pretty good fishing around those boulders that are down there. Excuse me. A few more places. Rockbridge State Park. All kinds of things in Rockbridge. There's a tunnel. The last 2 are both Grand Gulf State Park. Not too many have heard the name of it, but it's south of West Plains, a little bit east, I guess, but it's right on the border of Arkansas. And the water that goes through this huge sinkhole comes up in a huge spring in Arkansas, just about a couple miles down the road. So it's a pretty interesting kind of an area. Got some paths so you can go down all the way and see it and so forth. So I just thought I'd throw in a few other things that match up.
Very good.
I guess that's okay. Yeah, anybody knows anything more about some of those or wants to go try and check them out?
My dad just told about the different sink here. The very, very early survey maps of the big county. There was a Peter Goodwin, I think was his name, dairy farm out there by the Goodwin Sink. Our friends took that old little cabin down and they moved it and they took it off and reset it.
Oh, is that right?
But I have heard that old little cabin was part of the Underground Railroad during the Civil War.
Wow.
That's how far back it goes.
Yeah, I've heard some.
That's interesting.
And also, the Fulbright family was one of the original the Fulbrights were one of the biggest families that came in here, very, very early settlers. The right, Long Home is still here. Some of you guys might know Melvin Kaufman, but Melvin Kaufman actually lives in that house.
Yeah, Melvin's the guy who was telling me stories about the slaves.
Yeah. Also, the Fulbright Cemetery, I drove by here not long ago. Somebody's not taking care of it anymore. It has really grown up. I guess there was an older gentleman that used to mow it, take care of it and everything. But there's a lot of big trees in there now, that big around. But I often thought, well, maybe that's something we could do as a historical society, go back in there and clean that old cemetery.
I usually do that at one time, and everybody get a group together to help.
Yeah, that,
But that's,
Sorry.
but that's an extremely historical part of Laclede County. Back then, the old roads went and followed that dry out Prairies creek up there, that the people of sinkers.
Yeah.
And the roads that went up there never came south here. They didn't come to here. They ran east and west across the Gasconade River all the way out to the Wyota River. And they stayed north of that dry old days creek up there. That's where they lived. So that area has a lot of history.
you're talking about the practical stuff. I'm just showing the weird things.
We sure appreciate that.
Have you heard about the Smittle Cave, which is as you go towards Wright County on the county line?
It's on right.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
Basically,
place.
right?
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
There's big Smittle and little.
Exactly. That's a beautiful cave. Unfortunately, it's the big Smittle's locked up now.
Yep.
Oh, shucks.
It is worth a visit if you haven't.
They were claimed they were protecting bats, but they're not going to open those up anymore. I don't think.
Let's hope.
Just concern for people.
Maybe.
But
Yeah, I used to
also
take a group of kids in
there's
there.
some concern for the cave as well.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's true. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
What did you say was the largest sinkhole?
Pardon me?
Did you say what the largest sinkhole is that you know? Largest sinkhole?
Oh, I think some huge ones on the internet.
That's on the edge of East's place.
I know.
Yeah, some of them are so.
Well, going to Bennett Springs Natural Bridge is a bit of a hike, but if you took a lunch and took your time, as well, especially in the fall, it's beautiful. That would be the time to go. Maybe after the first frost, so the ticks don't get there. Well, it's a cleanup. So the state, I believe, owns it because they're under the process of cleaning it. So we might have to ask, but it may be deeded to someone, but it's with the purpose of the cleanup.
People were asking me about what a pawpaw was. I got a few of them here, so if you want to check them out, that's good.
It's called the Missouri banana.
Yeah.
All right.
That is such a great
And that was really great.
speaker.
I know
I'm
rocks
fascinated.
But I've been down there to the tabletop one that's right down off Colorado. Oh, yeah. That's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 3 miles, 5 miles from our house. We've been there several times.
Yeah, I love the one there.
It's really neat that all those sites are still right in this county. We're gonna let everybody take a look at the items of books. The bottle is an ale bottle from the 19th century.
Oh, wow.
That's exactly what you find in Civil War trash cans. Over there. There's some gloves, white gloves for those ladies that are in the need for Victorian ball. And there's a bunch of books, but there is a most important Aunt Jemima bottle at the top. They will make it pretty.
Yeah, that's true.
So take a look at that. Come over here. The tickets are only $1, and you call your name off. You can go over there and take a look at that. Then we'll close out right after the show. You're right.
It's a prize drawing. It's not it's not legal unless just a prize drawing. You can't gamble without certain parameters. You can have a prize drawing.
Oh.